Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of ACA. Today we are going to be reviewing a cigar Johnny and I are both very excited about. It's the Trinidad LCDH La Trova. So this cigar I think was announced in 2016. It just started hitting the markets at late 2017, I think December. PCC had the first release in Asia. And I think I picked up a couple boxes. I can't remember now if it was in December or January, but I think these ones have been resting now since then, so about 6 months. They still smell super fresh. Actually, this cigar is, the Vitola is called Cananzo Especial.
He's been practicing that.
Yeah, so
kill him in the comments.
I'm expecting it. So just an interesting fact, the only other cigar that has had this format was the Cohiba 2011 limited edition, the 1966, and it also has a pigtail. So
yeah, you've smoked the 1966 actually, so that'll be. Well, you actually smoked a whole box of them, haven't you? Yeah, you've gone through them. So it'll actually be quite interesting to see sort of, because obviously they always say the Trinidad's Cohibas are the top two sort of price-wise anyway of the sort of Cuban brands. I think they're at that level, so it'll be interesting to see how these compare. And I know they're different.
Well, it's not an LE as well.
True.
But hopefully it's better. I kind of doubt it, but hopefully it's better because it's definitely a lot cheaper.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh, yeah, true. But they're still quite hard to find. These are getting...
Yeah, actually these are.
Yeah, I've not seen many that you can get this, like recently, like I think you did well to get a couple of boxes, but I know that I'm kind of hoping I don't love these because they're going to be so hard to get, because I've literally, like, I've been looking, because as soon as Nate got them, I was like, ooh, these look quite nice, and I was like, definitely the size that I enjoyed, like this kind of format. So I was like thinking, oh, these would be a good box to buy, but not being able to find any. So yeah, well.
So yeah, size-wise, again, these are a large cigar. It's a 52 ring gauge by 166 millimeters. So looking forward to this. Nice long smoke. I'm getting really. It's actually, when I opened this box, it was. I mean, again, it's a pretty new box. It was really strong. The aromas. It was like a wet hay, and I'm getting a bit of raisin there too. Actually,
I'm not getting any. I'm getting some light cedar sort of smells, but I'm not getting any other sort of things. I mean, the draw's quite light.
It's a bit. I'm getting sweetness there. It's like a sweet cedar, sweet raisin kind of.
Not quite getting that sweetness, but. It's definitely, it feels like a lighter cigar, like the draw's quite, I mean, I've literally just picked the pigtail off and twisted off, and
let me cut that real quick.
The draw seems okay, so I'm going to try and smoke it with the pigtail and see how that turns out, and then, you know, if I need to cut it, I'll cut it, but yeah, it seems alright so far, but I'm just getting light cedary notes from the pre-draw.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty much straight cedar from the cold draw as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's light this up, guys, and we'll come back to you with our thoughts. Welcome back, guys, to the end of the first third. I just realized that I'm wearing actually the same outfit that I was last week, so the videos that are going to be...
Oh, yeah, so I've literally just joined him for the video.
So this is actually our third cigar of the night, and anyway, Johnny,
taste buds a bit there.
What do you think?
Yeah, so it's an interesting one. Like, the first couple of puffs were, like, really creamy, like a lot of, I wouldn't say load of flavour, but it was really, really nice, like, really smooth. But it's kind of mellowed out. Like, there's not too much sort of going on. There's not that much spice. I think it's quite a light to medium sort of type of cigar. I think it's probably 5 out of 10 with regards to sort of the flavour punch. So it's quite medium for me. Draw's been great, burn's been great. Literally the ash fell off about an inch and a half, I guess, like, so quite a long ash, literally just off camera.
Mine disintegrated after it hit the floor. So
yeah, so both of ours just literally fell off. But yeah, I mean, I think it's developing a little bit, like the transition, like I'm starting to get a bit more of the toasted almond flavour for me, but I don't think there's, I mean, I've not had that many Trinidads, but compared to the Fundadoras, yeah, I think the Fundadoras had a bit more flavour to it. So yeah, I'm still hoping to get a bit more out of it, so we'll see.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Johnny, on the first, like, maybe 2-3 millimeters. Like it was really nice, pleasant, kind of a bit of a creamy kind of woodiness there. But then the next inch was really kind of all over the place. It was I got a little bit of white pepper in there. I was getting a little bit of a woodiness, kind of a fresh tobacco taste. But now, actually, just right before we actually started recording this, it's really calmed down a bit. There's no kind of edges there anymore. It's really taken on more of those classic Trinidad flavors, for me at least. I'm really getting a lot of leather out of it. It's still surprisingly on the lighter side of medium, which is interesting because when I compare it to like the Reyes and some of the Vigia, there definitely seems to be more flavor coming out of them. So, yeah.
Well, it's quite a young cigar, right? These are December 2017, right? So relatively young, about 6 months old. So they've still got a bit of youngness to it, but I mean, still smooth, like really nice smoothness to it, I think. So
yeah. So I'm kind of curious how this is gonna progress for the rest of the cigar. I'm also quite curious how that's gonna translate into the aging process, because I'm definitely gonna keep a few boxes for a while and see what happens to them. But
yeah, well, I mean, construction-wise, forgot to mention it. Sort of on the initial one, pretty well packed, really solid, not spongy at all. Like heat as well, heat management. It's not hot, really, so really well constructed cigar. So yeah, really happy with that. So.
Well, mine was super well packed.
Yeah,
at the bottom. Yours was a bit spongy at the very foot.
But no, it's good. So yeah, we'll come back in the second third, let you know how it develops. Welcome back to the second third, the end of the second third. Yeah, Nate, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so it's picked up a little bit of an intensity and that kind of leathery characteristic that I was saying at the end of the first third. It's quite smooth. It's got no rough edges there. I'm gonna say it's not the most complex cigar right now. I'm not getting a lot of other flavors outside of that. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm not sure at the moment that it's worth the price point, because we were talking about it earlier, and this is about US $40 a stick.
Yeah.
So I mean, so far it's been a little over an hour smoke, so it's going to be over the hour and a half mark. So value for money, it's up in that regard. But in terms of like the overall experience and the flavor profile, probably a bit lacking. Having said that, again, still really enjoying this right now, but given the price point, there's a lot of other things you could buy out there.
Well, I mean, I agree with Nate. Sort of, I'm actually really glad that it's transitioned a lot. Like in the second third, there's way more flavour. I would definitely say it's definitely a medium now, probably 6.5 on the scale of 10. So strength-wise, it's got the great flavours that I enjoy, sort of the nuttiness, the sort of, toasted almond sort of flavours to me. Not really getting too much sweetness. I got a couple of hints of a raisin type flavour, like literally one puff and then sort of a couple of puffs later gone. So I've had it a couple of times, like in the second third, so that's good. But yeah, as Nate was saying, for the price point, $40 for this stick,
it's a pretty expensive cigar.
Yeah. And for a non-LE as well, so we were saying sort of for $40, you're in the territory of pretty much, a few LEs. You can get like
that Monte Cristo Dantes that we had the other day that's a $20 stick.
Yeah, 23, 25.
That was that was a much richer cigar.
Yeah. Over that, like, if you were comparing that to that, I would definitely say, like, I would 100% prefer the Dantes over this, but I don't know, it's an interesting one. Like, I'm quite new to Trinidad, so it'd be interesting sort of to get your guys' views on this, because obviously Trinidad's always going to be more expensive marked to a Monte Cristo, but I don't know, like, we're also discussing this Cohiba. Sort of, we've been smoking quite a few different, like, when I first started, Cohiba was my brand, like, loved every Cohiba, like, Siglo 6s were my favourite go-to sticks, and, like, I would, always be happy to grab a Cohiba, but we smoked a Robusto last week, and we had the Medio Siglos last week as well. And
full disclosure, three of the last, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 Cohibas we had were freebies, and I'm not going to count that against it, because I actually have 25 cabs of some of them, and they're drastically different. So let's
Okay.
not. Let's not.
Okay, maybe not, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's because our palates have changed, our palates have developed. Like we've been smoking a lot more Upmans, a lot more Partagas, and sort of the complexities you get with some of these cigars, like the Lusitanias, the development through the throughout the cigar is great. So I don't know. You've got to talk about these sort of cigars when you're talking about $40. It's actually quite a lot, like per stick. You got to sort of bring in if you're going to start sort of pricing it at that level. I think you've got to be able to. Yeah, I think you have to start talking about those kind of.
I'm pairing this with an Earl Grey tea right now, and I actually think they go really well together.
Yeah, I think it complements it. Like I've been having I had a light tea with it before, but now like with the Earl Grey, a little bit more flavour to it. So I think it does pair well, but it's still quite a light cigar. I think a lot of drinks would go with it. I don't think a whiskey would go too well with this. I think it would overpower it.
Yeah, I don't think so as well.
I don't think. So you got to be a little bit careful. Maybe a good coffee. This would go well with a coffee. I think like a creamy latte, not like an espresso.
Potentially. I'm not going to smoke one of these for a while. I think definitely I need at minimum 6-12 months before I probably pick up another one. Yeah. I mean, I really hope that these kind of transition a little more from the flavor profile. Maybe they turn into some of those Robusto extras, where you get a lot of that kind of tea aspect, and as well as the leather there, and maybe they become a bit more full bodied.
Yeah.
That would be great, because for a stick this size, and also for the price point,
Yeah, exactly. But I think it'll be sort of, if you're thinking about after lunch, sort of if you've got a good afternoon to have, I think it'd be quite a nice smoke to sit down with. I think that would be a good time. I don't think it'd be an after dinner smoke. I think I think that'd be a good time.
Well, I think the point we're trying to make is also if you're a Trinidad fan, and if you really like Trinidad cigars, just manage your expectations when it comes to this one, because I think at least for this box and these couple sticks probably may not match up to what you're expecting, at least now, given some age. Time will tell.
Yeah. But yeah, let's smoke the final third, and then we'll come back to you and let you know the conclusion.
Hey guys, welcome back to the final third. The last third has been the best third for me. Definitely, it's really a true Trinidad in my opinion. Definitely getting those much stronger leathery kind of characteristics to it. It's not the most complex cigar, I think, as I was saying earlier, but I've really been enjoying it. The second third, and definitely the final third. I wish the entire cigar was like the final third. So again, like I said earlier, I'm not going to be smoking any one of these anytime soon, but I'm confident that with especially a bit of age, they're going to be a great smoke. Price point, I think for most people, if they're not keeping like a large humidor, probably not the best cigar to keep in there. But if you've got the money, and you've got the space, and you want that the different flavor profiles in your collection, I would say definitely do it. I would give this I think I'd give this an 85.
Ah, interesting. Well, I think for the final third and the second third are about the same. Not too much transition. I'm getting the leathery notes, the almonds. It's really nice for such a young cigar, 6-month-old cigar. It's actually smoking really, really well. There's no harshness to it. It's still really smooth, great smoke production.
Yeah.
The burn's been great. So yeah, really, really nice. My rating's actually a little bit lower. I would say 84, because price point wise, I still feel it's value for money for a stick. I think 40 US is too much for this stick. It doesn't give me enough that I think that it's still a nice smoke, but I think what we alluded to earlier, there's a lot of options when you're at that price point. So I think 84 for me.
Actually, I was going to ask you a question. So for leather is not really a characteristic that you have described in the past from any cigars, or any even, right?
No, not really. I think it's a bit of the earthiness. I mean, it's a bit, as Ken might have said from FOH, it's quite cuddly, sort of having that ability to sort of have it.
I cannot believe you're going there.
I thought I'd throw it in there, but no, I mean it's quite nice. It's quite a subtle sort of flavour. It's not too it's not too strong like with regards to flavouring wise, but it's just that earthiness, sort of that kind of not woodiness. Well, maybe woodiness. That kind of. It reminds me of that when you sort of have that. That's why I say leathery, but it's not super strong for that flavour. but just.
I think one thing that we both really like about this cigar, which we both thought was also a bit unusual, is that it's only 6 months old.
Yeah.
And even at the nub, it's not getting that really hot. It's not getting super hot. It's not getting that kind of new cigar kind of hot aspect that tends to be a bit more on the unpleasant side and takes away from the overall smoke. So I think we've really both enjoyed that about this particular stick as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think about it. If you smoked it before, let us know your thoughts. And, yeah, we'll see you in the next review. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, welcome back to the nub. Yeah, this cigar is it keeps getting better actually. The last third, and we're gonna have to redo this because Mr. Benson is stepping into the camera frame here. Hello.
Okay, right, Benson. Yeah, good. All right,